Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. There is a mental faculty that we all possess that is often referred to as our sixth sense, intuition. Intuition is that sensitive mental tool that gives us the ability to pick up another person's moods, thoughts, vibrations, and feelings. It's our gut feeling, so to speak. Everyone has an intuitive factor, and anyone can most certainly develop this mental faculty through exercise. Do you know we can exercise our mental faculties the same way we exercise our physical muscles? If you want to become stronger physically, you know that you can't sit on the couch watching TV all day long and become stronger. You must move your body. You must get up, go for a walk, lift weights, do something to train your physical muscles. Well, it's the same with your mental faculties. If you want to build up your intuitive factor to the point where you know that your so-called sixth sense or gut instinct is serving you well, you must practice it, train it, believe in it, understand it. In Bob Proctor's book, The ABCs of Success, he talks about that as being a way of communicating. And he says the very effective salespeople, police detectives, customs agents, etc., have a very sensitive intuitive factor. That's the reason they're so effective. They've trained themselves to pick up other people's energy. They don't just hear what the person is saying. This has probably happened to you at least once in your lifetime. Think of the time people looked into your eyes and told you they loved you and you knew they were lying. Or when you sensed something was wrong with a loved one, but they assured you everything was fine, only to find out later that they did, in fact, have a serious problem they were facing. It was your intuitive factor that enabled you to pick up these unspoken messages. To develop your intuitive factor and gain confidence in its use, you must have feedback. Whenever you're with people with whom you've built an excellent rapport, ask them for feedback. If you feel they are thinking about something, ask them. Your intuitive factor will actually pick up vibrations coming from that person. Quite often, if you have a very close relationship with someone, you will pick up what that other person is thinking even before they verbally express it to you. Vibrations never lie. A person could be saying one thing and yet thinking another. You will eventually get to the point where you will pay closer attention to the vibrations you are receiving than to the words you're hearing. Intuition is one of the most valuable mental tools you possess. Begin to consciously use it. Your rewards will be worth the effort. You know, it was Steve Jobs who said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown out your inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. What is your intuition telling you? What is your heart telling you? That takes settling in and allowing your heart to speak to you, allowing yourself to be quiet long enough to hear your own inner voice. It doesn't matter what other people's opinions are. What matters is, are you living life on your terms? Are you living life so that you matter? So often we look after everyone else's needs and forget about our own needs. That's not selfish. That's wearing yourself down to the point of not being of service to others, because when you serve from empty, you start to feel resentful. When you fill yourself up, when you look after yourself, your own needs, when you feel good, then you're serving from a full heart, a full spirit. Take the time to think about what matters to you. When you feel good, you can serve everyone else in a better way. You can serve from the heart so that you make everyone around you feel better. When you're feeling bad, resentful, jealous, ashamed, guilty, worried, anxious, those feelings are being transmitted. You think you're hiding them, but they speak louder than your words. People can tell when you're not yourself. People can tell when you're not feeling good. They feel it. Maybe people tiptoe around you some days because they don't want your angry explosions. It's important to learn not to cover it up, not to hide it, not to pretend everything is fine, but to look after your own mental health, your own heart, your own needs, filling yourself up with the calm, peace, love, strengthening your intuition, strengthening your imagination, filling yourself up with what you love. You want peace in your heart. You want peace in your family. You have to have it in your own heart first. You want love in your marriage, in your relationships. You must love yourself first. What is it that you desire? You know, everyone says they want love, everyone says they want peace, but do you give that to yourself first? Think about all the hours that you put in grinding and forcing and working hard. Do you give yourself permission to rest? There's lots of times where we have to work hard to get what we want. But if you're working hard in an area that you don't like, you don't want to be, then it's no fun. When you're working hard for what you really want, you feel satisfaction, you feel the reward, you feel accomplished, you feel successful. But if you're just putting in time and grinding it out and doing things that you don't want to be doing, maybe look at where you're putting your energy. Ask yourself if what you're about to do is serving yourself and others, why are you doing it? And If it's something that you're working towards, even some days it might feel like a grind. If you change your mindset that you're doing it for your loved ones, you're doing it because you want to, you're doing it for a better outcome, then it changes your energy. When you change the way you're thinking, the way you're feeling, your actions change, your results change, they shift, they become easier because you're working towards what you truly desire. What is it that you really want? Sometimes we need to spend the time quieting our mind, quieting our heart, quieting our physical body, resting and asking ourselves, what do we really want? And is what we're doing getting us closer to that ultimate goal? What do your loved ones want? Maybe they don't want more things. Maybe they want to spend more time with you. Do you really listen to your own heart? Do you really listen to what your loved ones are telling you? And maybe not the words that they're saying, but the energy that they're in. Bob Proctor said, if I had to choose the greatest asset for successful communication, I would have to say it's in our ability to listen. Listening is a magnetic and strange thing, a creative force. The friends who listen to us are those we find ourselves moving toward, wanting to be with them, to be close to them. When people are listened to, it stimulates them, enabling them to unfold and expand. Ideas actually begin to grow within them and come to life. It makes people happy and free when they are listened to. When we listen to people, an alternating current recharges us so that we never get tired of each other. When people ask us to listen to them and we start giving advice, we have not done as they have asked. The moment we begin giving advice is the moment we begin trampling on their feelings. When was the last time you sat down and genuinely listened to your children, your spouse, or an associate in your business? Effective listening has been known to solve more ills than a truckload of pills. Why not become a better listener today? One point to remember, there is a difference between hearing and listening. You hear with your ears, you listen with your emotional mind. Give yourself to people without any thought or opinion of gain until you understand their position. When you actively listen to other people, you're paying them a compliment. You actively listen with your eyes as well as with your ears. You listen with your intuitive factor. Even your body posture is an expression of active listening. Yes, actively listening to someone is a sincere compliment. You are saying, I believe what you think matters. I like to listen. I've learned a great deal from listening carefully. Most people never listen. And I know there's times where I didn't really listen. I used to listen long enough just to respond, just to react, just to wait until the person finished talking so I could get my 2 cents in. But that's not really respecting another person. And there's lots of times I'm not a good listener. I'm working hard at getting better, finding out what people really want. Because sometimes what people say they want isn't what they really want. They just say it because that's what they believe they can have. Start paying attention to your intuition. You can pick up the feeling that the other person is giving off underneath, behind the words that they're telling you. When a loved one says, I'm fine, you believe it? You feel that you're off the hook? Or do you care to go deeper, to allow them to express what's really on their mind, to listen without judgment, to listen without jumping in with advice? The wise man doesn't give the right answers, he poses the right questions. Isn't that an interesting statement? The wise man doesn't give the right answers, he poses the right questions. You know, some of the hardest work that we can do is to ask ourselves challenging questions. What do you really want? Answer this question. What are you taking in from your external world that you want to stop taking in? And where could you say, maybe to people who think they know what's best for you, or their opinion matters more than yours, or they have an idea and you want to reject it, but you don't want to hurt them, but rather than giving in, where could you say, that's interesting, and move on? Not fight, not try and insert your opinion, not try to make the other person wrong and yourself right, but just, that's interesting. Let them have their opinion. Let them think what they want, and allow yourself to consider, is your opinion right? Or are you just trying to be right? How can you control your thoughts? What thoughts would be to your benefit to reject? We can control our thinking about the outside world and not let the outside world control us. When you know what you really want, you can start thinking differently about a situation. Because oftentimes we find that an outside situation is controlling our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. So if whatever's going on in your outside world, how could you think differently about the situation? What thoughts could you impress on your subconscious mind that would help you to shift the situation to a better state? Everyone has problems, everyone's got situations that seem to be controlling them, but the more you work on controlling your thoughts, allowing yourself to Improve your thinking patterns. Have better feelings. Focus more on the good that's coming into your life and not get on the train of thought that takes you down into the depths of depression and anxiety. Reminding yourself, that's a good word, isn't it? Reminding yourself to focus on the good, focus on what you want, focus on improving your communication skills, improving your intuition, knowing when you feel something is off, trust your intuition, trust your gut, ask your loved ones, not challenge, but there seems to be something off. Let's talk about this. When you look for the good in other people, you start to impress upon your subconscious mind there is good. Maybe you need to look deeper for it. What could you impress upon your subconscious mind that would help to shift the situation to a better state? And when you think about what you desire to experience in this situation, what do you feel? Your outside world is a reflection of your internal thoughts. What's being reflected in your outside world? And what is this telling you about your internal thoughts and feelings? You know, these are questions that I help my clients go through because changing your thinking patterns is one of the hardest things you can do. Changing your feelings and your actions to get different results takes practice. It takes going all in, knowing there's something that you truly desire in your life. And it comes from changing your thinking, changing your feeling, changing your actions in order to change the results that you get in life. Not waiting for other people to change, not blaming other people, not using outside circumstances as reasons or excuses, but practicing every day, knowing what you want, writing it down, spending time in the feeling as if your life is already going that way. It's already here, it's already done. You tell yourself affirmations when you're in a beautiful, calm, loving, relaxed state. I am healthy. I am becoming healthier every day. My body is strong. My body knows how to heal. Your body is a magnificent mechanism, and your body does whatever your mind tells it to do. So when you're focused on feeling good, when you're focused on peace and calm, you can tell when you're not in that state of being. When you practice first thing in the morning, giving gratitude, getting into a state of being peaceful, loving, joyful, strong and healthy, feeling abundantly blessed, thinking about a goal that you truly desire, what your heart wants. You know what your heart wants. Write it down and spend 5 minutes tapping into that energy, getting into that state of being that, being the best version of yourself. And practicing this every single day, it's like you're putting on a shield of armor against the negativity. Things that used to bother you, that used to trigger you, don't set you off as quickly or as often. You notice you're calmer in threatening situations. You're more in control of yourself when you're feeling good, when you're feeling strong, when you're reminding yourself, I am protected. I am divinely protected. I am created in the image of God. What I do matters. What I think about the most becomes the physical experience in my life. Think about what matters to you. Practice trusting your intuition. Practice getting into alignment with your goal, thinking, feeling, and acting as if you're already there, as if you're already that. Whatever you want comes to you as you become more and more in that vibrational energy. Put yourself in the vibrational, energetic feeling, thinking, and acting as the person that you wish to be, your best self. Create a wonderful day. Allow that beautiful vision of what you want to come to you as you magnetically attract it from the place of being already there. Trust your heart. What thoughts could you impress on your subconscious mind that would help you shift to a better state? Think about that, write about it, become that. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.